To weigh Saul against Breaking Bad is unfair, of course, right? So they acknowledge that. But it's also totally necessary, as one wouldn't exist without the other. True. Also, a great deal of Saul's power comes from knowing where he ends up, which many will admit while praising the show. This past weekend, the Shape of Water director hunkered down in his lavish manga mansion, or is it mega mansion, to fire off some tweets about the series that expressed many of these sentiments. So, this is where it gets very interesting. So I do have the tweets for you guys here. Okay, so this is his first tweet. So these are both of the tweets here. Actually, he made like 4 or 5 tweets, but these were like the 2 kind of most significant, impactful ones. Okay. So, he starts off with, a small reflection in the middle of Better Call Saul's new season. I like it even more than BB, which Breaking Bad. Not to be a contrarian, but because the evident stakes seem smaller, but the moral downfall strikes me as deeper, more poignant, right? And then he follows it up with Walter White, who turns black, you were tracking a massive downfall / transformation. BCS takes you by the hand as Jimmy becomes Saul Goodman, no good in him, in small, painful tumbles. So, those are Guillermo Del Toro's words, and I believe he posted this after the recent episode 8, or maybe he actually isn't quite up to episode 8 yet, because he does say in the middle of the season. So, anyways, he posted these tweets September 22nd, which would have been, probably about, Sunday or Monday. He posted these tweets, and of course, this got huge, controversy and huge discussion. So, anyways, those are the tweets, and again, you can go to his Twitter account. All these tweets are still up there, and you can kind of look at them if you're interested in that. But, anyways, so those are his tweets there. Okay, so let's go back to this now, okay? So, a small reflection, okay, so he says he likes Better Call Saul even more than Breaking Bad, which I would say is a minority there. And I do like, though, he says, I'm not trying to just be a contrarian, right? I'm not trying to just, go with the contrary and say, something that isn't the popular, opinion. He believes this, right? He genuinely believes that it's better. He says, stakes are even smaller, which is something I definitely agree with. Breaking Bad, the stakes were exponentially higher, exponentially more significant than Better Call Saul is. As of now, though, like, we don't know where Better Call... That's the biggest argument out of this whole thing, right? Is Better Call Saul is in Season 4, and Breaking Bad is already done, and we saw that whole story, right? That's probably the biggest argument here. But anyways, so he says, but the moral downfall strikes me as deeper, right? Very interesting, right? So then, and then he says something about Walter White who turns black. I'm thinking he just means who turns, like, bad, or who turns totally, like, kind of emotionalist or ruthless. I think that's what he means by that. But anyways, so he's saying essentially that Better Call Saul takes you by the hand, kind of slower, right? And Breaking Bad was kind of a huge transformation that took place a little bit more quickly. So, anyways, okay, so those are I just wanted to analyze a couple of the words there to get a little bit of better understanding what he's saying. So, to me, personally, I mean, just disregarding his words for a second here, again, I don't think you can compare the two, but if you had to, I don't know. I feel like Bryan Cranston as Walter White, I don't know. I think that character... I think in Better Call Saul, you kind of feel, I guess this could go both ways, but at least for me, like, watching Better Call Saul and Jimmy's kind of frustrations and struggles, which happens pretty much every episode, we get this same theme of he tries to be good, right? He tries to do the good thing, and he's finally successful, and then boom, something happens and kind of destroys that all, right? And we've seen this theme, especially in Season 4, but also in the whole show, right? And Chuck was mainly, or most of the time, that guy who came in and kind of axed, his success midway through, right? And kind of stopped that progression. And so we see that, and Breaking Bad, you could kind of say the same thing, right? Only eventually Walter kind of got what he wanted, right? And so in Better Call Saul, you feel sorry for Jimmy, I think, a little bit more. And that's maybe why that downfall and the, like Guillermo Del Toro was saying, how the downfall strikes him as kind of deeper, right? Because I think we feel more for Jimmy than we feel for Walter, right? Because Walter's kind of getting whatever he wants, right? And I mean, I guess you can feel bad for him about the cancer at the beginning, but when he's in that, really ruthless stage, the cancer isn't really a huge problem anymore, right? And it's more just him, doing it and him in the business instead of, doing it for money for his family when he dies. So, anyways, I feel like that's probably a big point here. And again, Better Call Saul is not done. I mean, they still have a ways to go. Some people are saying they might even do 2 more seasons. So that's at least, well, and then 2 more left in this one. So that's 22 more episodes that they might still have to go. And Breaking Bad is already done. So it's really, really hard to compare. And to me, I still like Breaking Bad better. I think Better Call Saul would have to be, the last 2 seasons would have to be somewhat, crazy. They would have to be phenomenal for me to enjoy that one better than Breaking Bad. I don't know. And again, I think some people would argue this because of that whole recency bias idea, right? Better Call Saul has been all more recent. They've seen it more. They've had that enjoyment more out of Better Call Saul, and they're like, okay, well that one's better. And then they haven't seen Breaking Bad in, let's say, a year or a few years, and that's what happens, right? That recency bias of, okay, well, this is in front of me now, so I like it better than what was that. And I don't know. I think Guillermo Del Toro, though, genuinely does believe Better Call Saul is better. And I think the writers, well, Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould too, but I think they've kind of noticed as well of this formula for Better Call Saul, and I think they've really, really executed it well. Breaking Bad, I feel like they had that same, kind of formula and same, kind of thing that they ran with. But Better Call Saul just seems a little bit more consistent in that, and it's really become really, really a good show, and I keep saying it's the best damn show on television right now. I believe that. I think it's the best one on television. So